Right. Want to make a message for Juliet, and if I put your full name in the title, it's only because I'm very confused. It's what this Warrior Wales said has made me wonder. You know, he said, if you work for the authorities, then and if you let me down once, then you'll let me down twice. Then Darren did that. Um, but then Warrior Wales, I like. I think Warrior Wales is supporting me, but he's also um, he seems to be with. I don't know. I don't know. He's supporting Dan from Police Abusing Powers, but he's also stood up for me as well because that group of people um, were inciting suicide in me when all I've done is make videos speaking the truth and documenting, which is something you encourage, Juliet. Anyway, and what I'm about to say is it makes I have a right to speak my feelings because uh, by the way, I've also posted the photos of what PC McCarthy did to me on Beachy Head. I wasn't hanging off Beachy Head. I wasn't hanging off the cliffs. What he did, no one else has ever done to me, and yet both he and PC Ford on my birthday did the same thing. And on the 3rd of February, when I received this news about my father's death, doesn't really make sense that he would bruise me all over my body, then take me to the patrol centre and say the mental health nurse doesn't want to speak to you, and then drag me off the grounds. It's not really a normal response, really, is it, to someone who's had news that their father's just died? But Juliet, you have that email, so you can confirm that yes, my father did die in December 2021, and I still don't know how he died. But that same PC McCarthy and PC Ford did the same thing to me on my birthday, and I needed an x-ray, and I had my phone broken and my shirt ripped and bruises all over my body, but they say I was aggressive. Yeah, so it does all need to be called out, because if this is the last thing I ever post, I will speak my truth. I'll be Yahweh willing. I'll get that justice. But I will speak my truth. And the thing is, this Warrior Wales has made me wonder, because actually he's got a point, Juliet. Why would you had a chance to stop me from losing my flat, that self-contained flat, because not only did you witness crimes at Belmore Road, you witnessed crimes which I showed you in your flat that happened at SDR Living. And Dan from Police Abusing Powers, what I don't understand, and you're not going to like what I have to say, even though it's the brutal truth, about your mother coming in, you getting your mother to come in with the neighbours and paramedics and police, but I'll come to that in a minute. Why would you allow me to lose my flat when you're a witness? And yes, as Warrior Wales said, you work for the authorities, but then he is supporting Dan, who is from Police Abusing Powers, as well as criticising him and his community of Police Abusing Powers on YouTube. Apparently in their Discord, where they all said, I hope Bryony kills herself. Because the thing is, Juliet, you said this random stranger, Dan or Daniel Brown, contacted you. Firstly, how did they contact you? Because I've only started using your surname Because now that the cat's out of the bag, that everyone knows who you are. How did they know who you are? Because I showed you that troll account before you went up north and left me in your flat. You said to me, and you're not being honest with me about a few things, but you said to me, oh, you're making out that I'm that troll account. I said, no, I'm not. I was going to show you this months ago. It's a picture of you with your profile picture and your name, Rawson. But it's taken, you told me, I said, where's this picture from? And you said, oh, it has to be my Facebook name has my mother's maiden name. So I thought, well, that's very odd. That's when I showed you that troll account. Because you and I didn't understand it. But you said to me, it's very strange how you said to me, why are you accusing me of being that troll account? Now, I don't know who it is, but nobody could possibly have known who you were or your mother's maiden name, because even I didn't know your mother's maiden name. And that picture of you is under your mother's maiden name. Because you told me your Facebook name with your mother's maiden name. So there are things you're not telling me, Juliet, and I don't like it. And what really disturbs me and makes me angry is you text me when you walked out of the door to go up north, and you coerced me to take a room that's now been taken from me, a shelter that I've been made homeless from in the cold and rain, and I've used the last of my pennies to self-fund a hotel yet again. How is it that you've allowed this to happen to me? Because Warrior Wales is right. You work for the authorities. You've witnessed crimes at Belmore Road. Then I self-funded the Cavendish for 9 months for my safety. Dan from Police Abusing Powers and his friend Tina Chave, whom you say you've heard of. Tina, you said, oh, I think I've heard of her. Tina Chave from the Independent Advice Network, who falsely offered me legal help. They've been trolling me because I keep telling this is what I'm saying on my channel, the truth. And I've got them saying, I hope she kills herself. And you have seen the anonymous phone call of that, and these harassing calls, which are rare, according to the Metropolitan Police website, but they are criminal offences, and they took place at SDR Living, where I've been made homeless and I've lost that room. So when you walked out of the door to go up north, because whether you're a friend or not a friend, your mum walked in the door and said, Juliet's not your friend, and I'd never met your mother before. Well, that's interesting, because Darren said to me in the Cavendish Hotel, Bryony, Juliet's your friend. And you said to me, his mother doesn't sound nice, from what I'd said someone else said about his mother. Well, what about your own mother? Walking in the door and saying Juliet's not your friend, and getting paramedics and police to walk out the door. What I want to know, Juliet, is how does this Dan Brown, this random stranger, as you text me, and you said don't mention the text messages on your YouTube. Well, I will. Because what have you got to hide, Juliet? Because I want to know where I stand here, because even if you're not my friend, you're a support worker who's a witness to all of this. And I'm not saying anything private about you. What have you got to hide? You know? That's all. And I'm being really fair about this, because I'm carrying so much pain. It's unbelievable. It's weighing down. I still don't know how my father died. Oh, well, we told you how to find out. No, I don't know how to find out. I am so ill. There's a reason why I'm on severe disability. And no, I've never said on my YouTube channel that I want to take the police off the cliffs with me. Have a look on my Facebook page and have a look at the bruises caused by that thug. and see what I've typed. Anyway, so I'm still being trolled, but I ignore the. What I want to know is how this random stranger, Daniel Brown, found you, because I blocked someone with that name on Facebook prior to me losing the flat at the end of February, saying, I hope you lose your flat. And I called them out on my YouTube channel. At the time when I received that letter, Juliet, this Dan Brown trolled me on Facebook and I called him out on my YouTube channel. I hope you lose your flat. You're a horrible person. And then you walk out the door to go up north and you tell me that a Dan or Daniel Brown has contacted you saying that I've said all these lies about you. And by the way, I don't use the word religious. All these things, and then you get your neighbours and your mother or friends. There was you saying you don't want the neighbours to hear anything. Well, why did you get your mother to walk in the door with friends and paramedics and police, and your friends are saying, oh, you've done malicious communication? What? Provide. I would like your friend, before he even walks in the door, a complete stranger making false or accusations, shall we say, he needs to back up the claims he's making, because I never have said anything malicious at all. At all. Not about you or anyone. Someone could have killed those police, though, for what they've done to me. And it's not me, I can tell you that, because it's that evil. And I've just had my home taken from me because I've reported crimes that you have witnessed. So why did your mother walk in the door saying, Juliet's not your friend? I'd really like to know, because Darren said, Juliet wants to be your friend, Bryony. He really laid it into me at the Cavendish Hotel. And you think his mother doesn't sound nice? Well, what about your own mother? I tell you what, Juliet, I'm not going to say anything private about you. But if you know what emotional abuse is like, and from what you've told me, that creep, Joe Vonderdell, came to my mother's funeral, and I have to live with that memory. And then he was mentally, emotionally, and physically abusive to me afterwards. But the worst abuse I've ever had from any so-called human being has been the police. I've never had anyone bruise me before. I mean, maybe Darren bruised me trying to stop me from harming myself, and you could say that was coercive. But I'm talking about proper thuggery. They called him, Darren doesn't like me using words like fart, yet these people use those foul-mouthed words that I had to, so bad that I had to pray out loud. They referred to him as a C word, as a knob. That was PC Harriet. PC McCarthy said he was a C word. That was just disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. But no, I just want to know why, Juliet. Why? It's because Warrior Wales has got me thinking. It's too late now, Juliet. I'm street homeless now. I've had my flat taken. You coerced me to take a room that's been taken from me. And that 74-year-old woman, I try not to give it away, but that woman from that property that you've coerce me to. I recorded her saying to Monique at the council that I'm not a problem. I went to sleep during the day. I'm traumatised. I don't even have a shelter. I don't even have a roof over my head. You imagine losing your mother and you've got no one to turn to. No friends, no family. Well, not family that care anyway. Sisters that don't want to know. Nobody wants to know. Can't be Superwoman forever, can I? I told you I genuinely feel bad about what happened to Darren's hand, and you said, no, it's not your fault, Bryony. See, it's all this narcissistic. No, I wouldn't treat it as narcissistic if you weren't treating me badly. It's like, well, where you when I needed you? Why? But the more than anything, I could forgive it. I could forgive anything. Do you know what? I could draw a line under all of this. Had your mother not walked in the door and said Juliet is not your friend, what? I made a gift for you and it upset me that you still haven't even mentioned it, even though I've texted you about that gift that I made you. But anyway, should anything happen to me, because I just can't face anyone anymore. I know the South African man here. There's a night porter here. Oh no, it doesn't matter. I can't say anything. There's a man here who lost his home. He lost his hotel. The police said, "You leave. We've taken your hotel, or we'll kill you." That's the South African police. South Africa is an extremely dangerous country. I visited my birth grandparents in George. I went to Cape Town. I didn't realise how dangerous the country was, but he's just been strengthening my faith. He's been strengthening my faith. Using some of the scripture that I actually know. And it's not enough. It's not enough. He said, have you read Joyce Meyer's book? Something to do with the Battle of the Mind or something. I said, I'm aware of it because I actually saw that Eben had that book. But I said to him, oh, she's one of those false prosperity teachers though, isn't she? He said, no. Our Heavenly Father blesses those who... it's just jealousy, he said. I don't know. I know you've got to be careful because the Truthers community, I've learned a few things about the Truthers community, and there's one man I do like who says where there's truth, there's lies, which is exactly what I said. But I really can't do this on my own. You know, I really can't. I can't do this. I'm very, very confused. But I'm going to finish by saying, Juliet, I really would like it if you could ask, I can text you her address. Because I can't face anyone. I can't do this anymore. I can keep praying, but I'm not Superwoman. I can't do this. Just say to Eben, what about Bryony's things? Okay, I'm not exactly going to put her address online, but I know that she lives in Upperton Gardens. And I'll text you her address, but listen, I'm in a really dark place. I made some gifts for you. I was crafting thank you gift for you and her, and I didn't want to say anything. In the same way that I didn't want to say that I wanted to dedicate a mobility scooter to my mother's resting place. But all that money's gone now. It's gone on the Cavendish Hotel. I've fled that property for my safety and sanity. Anyway, what does it matter anymore anyway? But, you know, I'm speaking as if, because I just never know when I'm just going to. I do suffer with suicide ideation. I just call it a desire to be dead. I had a mental breakdown. I reached out, and that mental breakdown was used to criminalize me. Even though this lovely guy here, he doesn't understand me, of course, but I reached out. I did the British stiff upper lip. I did the Jane Austen, Mary Poppins thing. I went into the church. It was, you know, and but inside I was hiding all this pain, and all my problems got too much. All the pain. I had that early midlife crisis because all that pain is just built up. And my mother knew that it was going to happen to me because you can't hide it forever. And I went to the place. I didn't go to a shop. I didn't go to a hotel. I went to the psychiatric unit, rang on the buzzer, begged and begged and begged. No, you need to go to A&E. I said, no, I've been down there for years. I need to see someone. No. So I thought, right. So I thought, how am I going to get their attention? And I got a thumbs up from the nursing assistant for doing what I had to do. Now I've been criminalised for mentally breaking down, and Eastbourne police have me on their radar, but then they're in a very dark place spiritually. That's what this lovely man was saying to me. I said, I know that, but I can't deal with this. I can't. But he's encouraged me. He's encouraged me to read the Bible and just find a church that can help me. So, but as I said, Juliet, please go to I put your name in the description only after this vile troll who hoped I would lose my home, who hoped I would kill myself. I think it's Dan from Police Abusing Powers, because he uses troll accounts, it would appear, with the name Dan. He's done that on my Facebook. He's used another Dan name. And he's got a video of me under this Dan Saltzer or whatever it is. And a picture of taken one of my videos or something. But if they weren't bothered by me, why don't they just leave me alone then? Don't lie to me then. Learn not to take advantage of vulnerable people and lie to them, because if you don't like them calling you out, leave them alone. Because I will keep speaking the truth. I will keep saying your name. If you don't like it, tough. Don't lie to people. Don't tell a vulnerable woman how brave she is. Then start saying, oh, you're a narcissist. I hope you lose your home. You're a horrible person. As Darren said, it's like being shot at with a gun. Yeah. And you always take it out on the person that cares about you the most. But, don't play games with a vulnerable person who's being brutally honest with you when you're not being brutally honest with me. Anyway, as I said, I've got unfinished gifts I made for you and Eben in her flat. She lives in Upperton Gardens. If anything happens to me, whatever, I can't handle it, because I had abuse from her as well. Darren was arrested in Eben's flat. You, Juliet, flagged up that he was being controlling over a set of keys. Eben turned nasty. I will put a link in the description to the recordings of the care coordinator who was supporting me over Eben. Eben didn't want to see me, which is funny because neither did the manageress when that flat was taken from me. So there's a lot you're not telling me. Lisa did not want me there. To get a few essentials, she only allowed you in there. So why? Because Darren and Eben should not have known where I was living at SDR, but they did. So who told them? Because the staff at SDR Living was saying it had to be Juliet. I did not want them knowing because you, Juliet, flagged up that Darren was abusing me and Darren was arrested in Eben's flat. And DC Kumar was meant to support me, and so was Karen. And Karen, who got me that flat, has been sacked, and I've lost the flat, and you have listened to a troll named Dan Brown or Daniel Brown. It sounds like Dan from Police Abusing Powers, who said, I hope you lose your flat, leading up to me losing that flat. So there we go, that's me finished.